It took a minute to get it going. I had to figure a couple of things out. I ran the OBS to my desktop editing computer this time. Really, I didn't. If you want the full honest truth, I ran it to the Alienware Aurora R7 that I got sitting where my my rig, my test rig normally sits, or my editing rig. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. The word of the day, editing. And I don't know why my camera popped up when I opened my phone. So let me pull the live stream up so I can see the chat on my phone. All right, we got it. Okay, so I can see it now. I'm glad the microphone's working and you guys can hear me. It's a brand new microphone. Just took it out of the package. So that probably likely put me a couple of minutes behind because I was trying to learn how to set up this microphone. Let me turn you down here where you can see what we're working on. We have a Gigabyte GA-Z68X-UD3H-B3. And I am going to tell you what problems that I faced with the board, and we're going to see if we can get it to even light up. I think I've got this board to light up once or twice, and it seems like it was really finicky on memory. So we're going to throw a whole bunch of memory at this thing today. That's what we're going to test. So Thursday nights we'll no longer have a video drop. They will be live streams, and it could be 5 p.m. and it could be 7 p.m. I did it a little early because some of you guys and gals might have stuff to do tonight, like because 4th of July is tomorrow, so happy Independence Day to everyone out there. So I wanted to get this one as early as possible, and when I walked up on the porch today, there were an Amazon package that had a couple of microphones. So I've got one of them, and if it goes dead, we can get another one out. I don't know why we're buffering either. I got you set up on the desktop, which is really, really solid connection, so it shouldn't be buffering. Unless it's just my phone buffering, you'll have to let me know on your end if it's doing it or not. I streamed on my laptop yesterday, and it worked perfectly, so I would think going to the desktop that it would be fine. Let's pop some memory in here and see if we can get this thing to fire up. I see about 7 people in there. So our memory to start is going to be a Samsung 2 gig stick, a PC3 10600. So we should be able to, if this is a good stick, it should easily boot in a 3rd gen Intel board. So let's try it. I'm going to hit the power switch there. We don't have a power button like yesterday, so we don't have a power button on this board. We're going to have to just do it with the screwdriver, so we're back to jumping the board. Oh, we got nothing. Well, that's interesting. So we got the board plugged in, and we put memory in it, and we get nothing. Let's take the memory out and see what it does. We are turned on there. We're plugged in completely, so I think it did more than this with the memory out of it. Let's see if we can get it to... No, we're not making any signs of life on this board now. That is interesting. So there's no signs of life on this board whatsoever. And when I plugged it in here, I turned it right on. It didn't have any memory in it, but I turned the board right on. So that's the weird issues we're having. There it goes. So it turned on without any memory in it. So now we're going to go back, and I think this time we're going to go with some Kingston memory. And why are we buffering? I think maybe it's just me watching it from my phone that it's buffering. Tell me in the stream if you're listening if that stream is buffering or not. If it is, we're going to go over and make some adjustments on our OBS to correct it, but you'll have to let me know in the chat whether or not it's buffering. All right, now we're going to try to get this thing to boot, and it goes on and turns off, and this is a problem I have with this thing. And it's doing it again, so we're cycling on and off and not booting, not posting. Well, I don't care if it boots, just want to get it to post. So that's what I have out of this board when I test it. This is a board that was likely damaged in shipping. It had a couple of bent capacitors on it. So we're going to go through some different memory here and see if we can find one that's going to be happy enough to make this thing post. I think I'll go in the first slot because we only got one stick that I'm testing with. Maybe that'll help it. I don't know. Some of these old boards were just finicky. Yep, we're on and off again. That's the problem. This is the issue with this board, this right here. So you see the board will cycle on and then it'll cycle off. And usually if I mess around with the memory long enough, I'll find one that it's happy with and I could get a post out of it. But it might post one time and then go back to doing this the second time. So basically, don't hold your breath if it does post. I see some people tuned in. Let's see some chat messages there. Or maybe you're chatting and I can't, my phone's not showing it, but I don't believe that anyone's chatting right now. I'm just going to try to hold the power button down for a few seconds. This does have a new motherboard battery in it, so I'm pretty sure the battery's not the issue. So we replaced the memory again, and it's still doing the same thing. It's literally just turning on and shutting off. And this is the issue I had with it. I fooled around with it a while back to get it to post, and I certainly went through a lot of memory that day too. And I forgot which memory I used in it to get it to work, but it'd be nice to know that now. I probably used the memory in something else, to be honest with you. But hopefully the mic's coming through okay, because I don't see the chat going, so I'm wondering if the broadcast is even going. It looks like it is. Looking across over there to my OBS, so I think we got it going here. Nope, on and off again. Hopefully we don't strike out on this one. At least yesterday's issue, we had, we know what the problem is pretty much. This one, though, this one's starting to baffle me a little bit. All right, we're burning through some memory sticks here. How many is it going to take us before it posts? I can answer. Oh, there we go. Did I really see 205 thumbs down? I don't know how there would have been 205 thumbs down unless there was some kind of bot that was doing it. I don't really know how that would have happened any other way. All right, so we're not doing anything with this one. At least not yet. We're going to keep trying, though, because I got a stack of memory, so we're not going to give up. I've got it to post before, but that's the problem with the board. I think I got 8 gigs of RAM to work in this thing before, and when I tried to go to 16 gigs of RAM to make it relevant, at least a little bit, that is weird, Michael Dunn. I'm glad you pointed that out. That is strange. I don't know why it would have shown 204 or 5 thumbs down. But it is YouTube, so. All right, we're still doing the same thing. We're cycling on this. I wonder if I got a 4 gig module to throw in this thing. Or maybe even a 1 gig. I think this might be a 1 gig. Let me turn around and see what I got stacked up behind me here. If I got a 4 gig module, that would be great. Oh, what is that? 2 gig. These might be 4 gig right here. We'll pop one of these bad boys in there. Good to see you in here, Stray Dog Tech. I enjoy watching your videos too, man. Thursday nights, this is what I'm going to do. We're going to live stream and work on some of the stuff I have problems with. And together, we're going to see if we can make it work. Yeah, same thing. Let's put 2 of them in it. Let's just try populating 2. And then we'll do a clear out on the CMOS real quick. And we'll see if that sparks any life in it. We'll pull the battery out, short the pins on it. Oh, you got your Raspberry Pi today. That's awesome. You'll have to put a video up on that. I'd like to see that one. I've never messed with those things. I've thought about it and I never went down that road. So that's really cool to hear. I held the battery out, shorted the pins to clear the CMOS out. We'll see if we can. We're just still doing the same thing. I've said it in my videos, but I'll say it again. What is the definition of insanity? You can type it in the comment section if you want to, but what is the definition of insanity? If you put sensation as an answer, you'll be absolutely 110% correct. Except I am the image of insanity, not the definition of it. So what is the definition of it? All right. Come on, baby. Well, I guess if it's spinning the fan, that's a sign of life, right? We are going for the onboard graphics here, not the... Can we jumper some pins on this thing? I don't know. There has to be a jumper panel somewhere. Let's see what I can find here. Help me understand. Getting out of bed in the morning? No, I'm not getting out of bed this morning. We're in the evening time here where I'm at. Oh, getting out of bed in the morning's insanity? That's a good one. You're probably correct on that. I like that answer too. What I was looking for is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results, kind of like we're doing with this motherboard right here. There's a reason this thing was in the scrap pile. Let me tell you guys that. So there's a reason it was in the scrap pile, and here sensation is. Most of my hair is almost gone, but I'm gonna make the rest of it go away messing with this garbage right here. And I could just go up to Best Buy and buy a new board, right? We put a brand new one together. But why? Why when you can play with this old stuff? And here we go again. I don't see any blown caps on it. I had some bent ones, but I didn't see any that were blown. I think the board got damaged in shipping a little bit. And I'm pretty sure that that's probably what is wrong with it. But I don't see anything obvious sticking out. Sometimes you don't. Not all blown capacitors show their face. So I don't know. We're just going to try all the memory slots now. I've gotten this board to post before, believe it or not. You're probably going to not believe it, but if we get it to post again, then you'll say, oh, yeah, well, I guess he did get it to post before. But I know it was some certain memory that I used in it, and I had to sit here and keep messing with this thing with different memory in order to make that happen. So that's what we're going to try here today, and to see if we can... Where is the memory I took out of Bling 2? Look at that. You'll remember all that RAM. That's the mismatch RAM that come out of Bling 2. The 4th gen board that I streamed yesterday. That's the mismatch RAM out of that one. Bad CPU. I've replaced the CPU in it. So I've tried like 3 CPUs in this board. This is the CPU I got at the post with, coincidentally. One time I literally ordered a board on AliExpress and were literal capacitors. Yeah, that could happen. I've never had a new one come in that way, and so far I've had good luck off AliExpress, believe it or not. Well, the editing rig, which coincidentally would normally be the rig I would stream from, but it doesn't have a USB-C to work these nice microphones I got. So I stayed with the Alienware Aurora R7, and that's why, because it had a USB-C to run my microphone. All right. This thing is starting to literally drive me nuts now. I'm going to go to the 4th slot. You think we could have some luck in that slot for some reason? Probably not. Probably no more luck than we're having. We're about ready to throw another motherboard up here to play with. Uh-oh, we're still running. We are still running. Are we going to post? You see it just as well as I do. The fan is spinning. Yeah, shut off. But that's the longest that it's ran. It's going to kick back on. I'm looking to see if any of the light. It's Intel, John. It is a 3rd gen. Did we flash something over here? What is that whining? That might be the power supply. I'm going to pretend like I don't hear that. That's a capacitor get wound up ready to pop on us probably. Can you hear that faint whine? All right, it quit. Okay, so we're doing something different now. This could actually be a good sign. So what we're doing, it just flashed the keyboard. And now the keyboard's lit. What? The caps lock is working on the keyboard. The mouse just lit up. I think we might post. That's what I told you. It's just random crazy, the board is. But we got a mouse lit up. We have a working keyboard. We have no display yet. We might have to throw a graphics card in here to get that to happen. Let's go ahead and do that. Since we got it, it's posting. It's just not displaying. So let's throw a graphics card in it. You know, our 1050 works great for that. Doesn't take a power adapter to plug it in, and I got the Linux boot drive plugged into it too. So let's try it. We're getting somewhere now. Power switch is on. Fire it back up. We got that same whine. It's definitely, well, I mean, it posts if you got a keyboard and mouse, right? We just didn't have a display, so I changed over and put the 1050 graphics card in it. We're going to try it again here. Oh, I think we posted. I'm not kidding you. We just posted. There it is. It says checksum error, right? And it's going to load the defaults, it says. So let me step on all that memory and make a pile of what I've already tried. I told you this thing is super duper memory picky. Oh, we blacked out, so I think it's resetting here. We'll see. It's resetting. I just got another flash on the keyboard. I'll move you guys. Ooh. I'll try to move you guys and gals down here, but I don't know if I can because my USB cable is only so long, and I've got it stretched across the room. All right. Some weird HP motherboard that has Intel cooler mount, but has an AM4 processor. That's probably not. Look at that. It booted into our Linux. I don't know. That's probably a 4 gig stick of RAM if I had to guess. We're going to shut it off in a minute and try to shove another one of those sticks in it. I have a matching stick to that. So that is, we're in Linux right now. This is where I need a capture card. Wait, I have one of those. I just got to figure out how to use it. So we got in here on 4 gigs of RAM. So we got 4 gigs of RAM working. Linux Ubuntu, not a bad choice whatsoever. My personal favorite that I use, if I'm going to personally use a Linux, which I do, but my personal favorite is Zorn OS. I love Zorn. I just love the way it looks. Never have a problem with it. I love the functionality of it. I've distro hopped on Linux for 20 years probably. So let's shut this down and let's see if it'll take some more memory now. This is where I ran into a problem with it when I got it booting before. And you've seen how hard it was just to get it to boot right there. So system will power off now. And it says reboot, power down. Well, power down then. It says it's going to power down. Let it power down. I don't blame you for dumping Windows. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people, even in the chat, that would probably love to dump Microsoft right now because they basically dumped us first anyway, right? Oh, no. We don't want to boot it up. What were we doing? Put more memory in. That's it. We got it to boot out of the 4 slot. What's going to happen when we go in with another identical piece of memory? You know, the difference is this is a little bit newer memory here because it's 12800. It's not 10600. So I don't know. Could that be why it likes it? Maybe it wants a little faster speed. I do have a capture card. I do have one. I just don't have it hooked up. And doing what I'm doing here, working it. Uh-oh, we broke it. We broke it. We had it work. It worked with the memory in the 4th channel, but as soon as I put the identical stick in the 2nd channel, that was it. That's all she wrote. I don't like that stick. Let's take that stick out of the 2nd channel and try a different 4 gig stick. We're just going to play, oh, what would it be called? I don't know. I don't know what game we're playing. Swaparoo with the memory sticks. Can we get 8 gigabytes to show up on the board now? No, it shut off again. Yeah, they will. That's it. You install Windows 11 now, and you talk about invasive. Not only is it invasive, they try to sell you everything. So they want to sell you the gaming thing. They want to sell you more OneDrive storage. We want to sell you this. We want to sell you Windows or the suite, whatever they call it now. It's just turned into a gimmick. I miss the old Windows where you installed it and all that bull crap wasn't on there. And it just worked, right? So now we get glorified bloatware from them, and then they want to shove every product that they have down our throat. I see Linux making a big hit, and I think they've gained a ton of market share in 2025, and I think that's going to continue to grow. At least I hope it does, and you know, we can get more drivers and support for these direct drive wheels and stuff so I can do iRacing on it. I haven't given up on that. I'm still working on it when I get time, but I am going to do my best to get iRacing. Come on now. This thing doesn't like, no other memory put it. Why put it there? Why don't we just put it in the same channel? Let's try that. So let's go with a matching one in the 3rd channel now. I mean, it's still 8 gigs of RAM, right? Let's see if it likes that. It stayed on. You can't make that up. Maybe it's a bad memory slot. Maybe the 2nd slot is actually bad. Nope, it quit again. We're back on again. I don't know. Maybe it'll post with it. If it does, will we have 8 gigs of RAM show up? There it went. It posted. So we got 8 gigs. We are in slots 3 and 4. We got another checksum error. All right, shut it down. Does that mean our battery's bad? Why do we keep getting checksum errors? Anyone have an idea? Put it in there. Yeah, Windows 11 is a virus. It should feel like one because it is one. Windows 10 was tolerable for me, but after Windows 7, Microsoft really went to garbage, honestly. And that's where I found my way to Linux around the Windows XP era. But Windows XP will always go down as my favorite OS by far. I like Windows XP. I was doing something. Oh, this battery right here. So we keep getting a checksum error, and I thought I'd put a battery in this, but maybe, in fact, I didn't put a battery in it because I might have already set it into the scrap pile by then. Yeah, I can get into the BIOS. What I'm thinking about doing, I don't need the IO shield, I just need batteries. What I'm thinking about doing actually is rolling the BIOS back or just reloading the BIOS onto it to see if it might be a problem with that. I'm getting low on motherboard batteries, so I might need to order some more of these here. I go through these things all the time, literally. It usually means there's a problem with the data being stored or retrieved in your RAM. Oh, that's great. We're gonna, I thought the checksum error was not holding the storage or not holding the memory on the boot ups when it shut down. That definitely wasn't a new battery because they're different brands. So maybe I'm right and this battery will do it. Or maybe I'm wrong and we just have a motherboard with some bad RAM slots on it. Either way, we're going to give it a try here. So we're getting it to boot with, oh, it's not going to light up now. We don't have a, let's get our HDMI cable hooked up here. All right. So we got a new battery in the thing, and we'll see if we can post again. Yep, we posted. So let's get in the BIOS. Some reason it didn't light my USB up. So my mouse isn't lit up, and I don't believe my keyboard is either. So that was weird. It shut back off. I'm going to let it reboot and see if we can get into the BIOS. Yeah, I'm gonna think it was the CMOS battery because I didn't get that message that time. But I would like to get into the BIOS of it. There we go. We lit the keyboard that time. So delete key maybe? I don't know. We're in the BIOS. Look at that. So we made it in there. How am I going to test the RAM in the motherboard? I'm just going to put the RAM in it and see which one works. This RAM already, I know this RAM that we're using works and it's good because we had it in Bling 2. How did you get here? On YouTube, I'm assuming? I don't know, but we got it lit up and working. So that's a good sign, I think. It says change CPU's clock and voltage. Man, I got to get you around to see this. Right at the bottom, maybe it's the CPU voltage that's the issue. So I'm going to try to move you. I need a longer USB cable. Because if you come unplugged, we're going to lose our camera. We'll still have our audio, though, and I have to get the camera to work again. But there we go. We can move it around a little bit. All right, let's run it across here and try to short it out in every fan. So look down there at the bottom. What do we got? Change CPU clock and voltage. Help me. I've never seen that message before. Put it in the comment section if you know why it's saying that. I have never seen that message on one of these. I understand the clock thing. I mean, I've seen it say that before, that the clock's wrong, but I've never seen it say that change the CPU's clock and voltage. Could the CPU voltage be causing the issue with our memory? Local AI, like a llama. No, I do not do that. These coolers are junk. They're not just ugly, they're junk, period. We got to tweak something here. So I'm trying not to unplug the camera when I do this. Oh, look, shows my hand real good. Let's go to, you think we should be able to load the defaults on this thing? What's 11 say? Save CMOS to BIOS, load CMOS. That's weird. All right, what's standard? Well, our clock is definitely wrong because we are January 3rd, 2025. So let's go ahead and maybe the battery was causing our issues. Could it really be that simple, honestly? Could it really be the battery? What are we, 5:34? At least Eastern time, right? All right, tab over. I'd like to put you straighter than that, but I can't because my USB cable's a little bit short here. So we're going to try resetting the clock and see what it does after that. I'm pretty sure that we have the 8 gigs of RAM in it. I'll let you keep looking at the monitor so when we get the restart right here, you can see it. I'll look at the chat in a minute too. This reminds me of when I first started streaming. Sometimes I'd have to hold the camera to look at the stream or to record when we were doing something. What SATA is found running in IDE mode. Okay. I guess we need to change that too to AHCI. It's loading it. Look at that. So now that we got that done, we'll shut it down and we'll see if we get the same CMOS errors again. We may have fixed that issue, but look at that. We got something's actually working right for once. Yesterday's stream went terrible with the 4th gen possessed board, but we got something working on this one. I don't know what we have working, but you guys have helped me and we got something to work now. So we're going somewhere. Nope. Just made all that up, but it is working. Let's shut it down though. This time we're just going to shut it down to see if it saves our, we don't get the CMOS error anymore. So that would be cool. And then I'll check the messages on the chat. Okay, we're going to shut it all the way off this time. We're going to turn it back on. And we're going to jump it off with the screwdriver. I don't know why I do this. I have a power button I can hook up to these. I think the screwdriver is just always there and it's easier, right? I'm sure there's plenty of you watching this stream that have jumped them off with screwdrivers plenty of times. Anti-static, not here. If it burns up, we throw it in a scrap box and get another one out. Okay, so we probably need to change it to AHCI mode so it quits throwing that message up there. But we did not get the CMOS error again, so that is a good sign. I can put you up a little bit. I am happy about that. We've got, what do we got? 8 gigs of RAM working in the last 2 sticks, so let's try to get a little more than that going now. And let's look at the chat here. I think we'd have determined it was the CMOS battery was definitely one of the issues. But was that the only issue? We're going to check the other memory slots in a minute. This is mismatched memory, but all this memory worked together in the 4th gen setup. So I know every stick is good, and they're close to the same exact speed and voltages, which is kind of rare to find that, but it's possible with different brands. I've done it before. I probably got 1 or 2 running here now that have different memory in them. The dark ages, IDE, you darn right. Yeah, someone could have tried to overclock it. So we just we default this stuff. It doesn't matter. Let's not get greedy though. So let's go into slot number 1. This is the same exact memory as the blue in a different color. So let's skip slot number 2 and let's do that last in case we have a bad memory slot. So let's see what it does. We could have a whole channel bad up there. Ooh, it don't like something. Oh, we don't have the power on. There we go. Let's try that again. Man, I'll tell you what, this thing's whining like crazy. All right, so it's on and off. Yeah, see that? We're right back to the loop again. We're right back to the loop. So we didn't fix anything on that. The memory's still messed up. Maybe it'll like it back in the second channel again. I don't know. Oh, let's see here. Power switch. Engaged. Nope, we're still cycling again. So these first 2 memory slots are not gonna... I don't think they're gonna work for us. I'm not sure why, but it seems like those channels might have an issue. Maybe it's those motherboard voltages that we didn't go in and change, so we may have to go into the BIOS and do some settings changes to get that figured out. Yep. Definitely not working on the first 2. Ooh, got my hand in the fan again. My thumb that time. You're used to seeing that, though, if you watch my videos. I don't think there's a single video I don't put my hand in a fan. All right. You know what's funny about that? 2 of those channels look like they might be goners, but one of those 2 channels worked before. So when I was testing it before, I had it in the second and the 4th slot, not in the 3rd and the 4th one. So we're going to go try to change the voltage this time. Maybe it'll go into the BIOS. I don't know. There we go. We're in there. First, let's go over to load optimize defaults. Yes. F10. Yes. So we have loaded the optimized defaults in there. It is DDR3 memory. That is correct. It's a 3rd gen Intel. It has an i7-3770K in it. That's the processor. So well, we'll go back into the BIOS again. So we loaded the optimized defaults. So we got no overclock. This is all factory. I'm going to go to the MIT, which is the intelligent tweaker. Current status. Oh, I'm sorry. We have a Xeon E3 1230 V2 at 3.3 gigahertz. Memory, we're running at 1600 megahertz on the memory. So all that's working. It's showing that we have slots 3 and 4 populated. Actually, it's showing on here that we have slots 1 and 3 populated, not 3 and 4, but 1 and 3. So they're calling that 1 and 3 in the back. It is a tradition. I don't even mind. It's a crazy thing about it. I don't want to break the fan blades. Don't get me wrong, because I hate that, especially on a graphics card. But the fans aren't that much money, so it is showing all 8 gigs of RAM. That's good. The voltage is everything's stock on it now. Maybe it's the Xeon. Maybe it's screaming over the Xeon. I have another 3rd gen over there that gives me a lot of problems. We might throw that board up here too and see what CPU we got in it, because maybe we can change it over to this and it'll quit acting stupid. Because I'm pretty sure that this CPU and the other board was acting stupid with the memory too, so maybe it's the CPU doing it, not the motherboard. The Xeon in this one is an E3-1230V2. So an E3-1230V2. That's the Xeon in it. We are at default settings, so let's just shut it off. And now let's try to go back into those memory slots one more time here, because we went to default settings and maybe that was an issue. I don't remember why I swapped these CPUs around. I wish I could remember, but I don't. Now we're still back to the reboot again. Let's grab that other CPU. What do you guys think about a CPU change here? Heck, we've tried everything else, right? We can't get those two slots to work, so what'll happen if we swap the CPU out? Yeah, the Xeons are a little more picky. I'm very familiar with them. I use them a lot, especially on the 1366s. No, it's not a server board. It's a gaming board. This could be the issue, though. We're going to find out because I have that third gen that I'm pretty sure I got a 3770K in it, but we're going to find out in a minute. That board has issues of its own. Maybe we'll get it up here on one of these Thursday streams and see what we can pull out of it, but the CPU's warm, but it's not toasty hot. Not anything that I would be concerned with anyway. So we'll get that cleaned off, and I'm going to get behind you and try to reach this other motherboard so we can steal the CPU out of it real quick. Maybe we can bend a couple of pins and it'll work. I don't recommend trying that at home, but I mean, these boards are garbage otherwise, right? Let me see what CPU's in here. Oh, these stock coolers. They're junk. This is a board that shorted out in a case, is what happened to it. It wasn't of my doing. All right, so we have an i7-3770 in here. So I know that'll work in that third gen board right there. So we're going to do the switcheroo because I think I've already done the switcheroo. I literally think I've already done that. So there's our CPU transplant. Open this bad boy up. And we're at default settings, so we should be okay on that, I would think. And we just got to make sure we get these set in right. I'm going to put this one in this board because we might play around with it one day. Maybe we'll do that on one of our streams here. All right. It's got the stock cooler on it too. If it had anything better, I would move it. All right. So we get that set back down. Let's get our CPU in. And then we'll try it again, right? Let me get it lined up right. I'll try not to bend all the pins, just half of them. Oh, well, that's a good way to do it. I got the line up just there. It went. It sat down just like it should. So we're perfect in there now. It was just slightly off to the side, so there was no pins bent. You can stop holding your breath now. Thermal paste. If you weren't tuned into yesterday's stream, you'll know I got me some thermal paste here. We got a tub of it. Somebody yesterday said it was a lifetime supply of thermal paste. I don't really think it's a lifetime at Sensation, but maybe for some other people. Just not this guy. So this stuff looks a lot like toothpaste, and there we go. Get a little bit of it on here. Go with a little bit more. You can't never have too much of this stuff. Rub some off in here. There we go. I shorted the board out using I will not use liquid metal. And that's exactly why, John. What you just said is spot on why I won't use liquid metal. You have to be extremely careful with that stuff, or it'll do exactly what happened to you. It'll short out the board. I'll stay with thermal paste. This has a brand on it, but I don't know. I'm going to do a temperature comparison on it, see how good it is. I got it when I got scammed on some parts about a week or two ago. You know how I am. Every once in a while, I get scammed on stuff. And that kid got me on them parts, man. It's a shame, too, because that motherboard looks brand new. Graphics card did, too. All of it in the box. I was excited to go up there and get that. It looks like Colgate. I'm not going to lie. It could be. I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys a story on this because I think you're going to find some humor in it. So here it goes. So I am obviously on Discord, and I own a league on iRacing. So that'll give you a little bit of background there. And I was on there one night, and this has been some years ago now, and there was a British kid that used to watch our iRacing stream, and he got real involved in that stuff. So long story short, it was probably close to 1 o'clock in the morning my time, and he didn't have any thermal paste, and somebody asked him if he had toothpaste. I'll try not to laugh, and I'll try to get the story out. And he said, well, of course I got toothpaste. We do brush our teeth over here. So he ended up using the toothpaste for thermal paste, and it worked. And he said it smelled minty fresh. So I thought that was pretty funny that he even tried that. We got our CPU changed out, but he said it smelled minty fresh when it was turned on and running. All right. Well, the good news is the fans are still spinning. I told him to get CPU paste and replace that as soon as possible. Colgate was probably not the right answer for his CPU. I usually do a P size too, but with that, oh, we're posting. Look at that. So we posted immediately. It didn't have any problem. It didn't say a CPU change or nothing. So we're going to go with the intelligent tweaker. We're spinning this thing. We're 41 degrees if you want to know the CPU temperature. So I wouldn't recommend putting Colgate on there. It might be Colgate. I don't know. It did. I have no doubt that it worked until it dried, but I'm sure it dried pretty quickly. Memory frequency still at 1600 megahertz, 1596.92. It's still showing our 8 gigs of RAM. We're running about 42, 43 degrees Celsius on our CPU temperature. Our V-core is sitting at 1.224 volts right now. And our DRAM sitting at 1.5 volts. So everything's right where it should be. Let's shut it down and see if we can get those other memory slots to work now. You didn't miss anything yet except for me doing a whole bunch of memory swapping on this thing to get it to post the first time. And we just did a CPU change to it. We took a Xeon out of it and we put a 3770 in it. So we still haven't got these first two memory slots to work yet. And it's still not working. So the problem is definitely not with the... Yeah, the board finally posted. John's right. But as soon as I go to test these memory slots, even after the CPU change, guess what? Nothing. So whoever said those memory slots are goners, I think you might be right. But if that's the case, will two 16 gigabyte modules work? Or will two 8 gig modules work? We'll have to see that. Oh, wait a minute. No, I was hopeful. You're exactly right. It'll break the board or anything. These things are junk, these coolers are. You probably busted the board trying to get it off there because them things get stuck in there, just garbage. All right, we're back to recycle loop. Where is my 4th gen board I tested yesterday? I'm going to take the 2 8-gig sticks out of it, and I'm going to throw them in here into the 3rd and 4th slots, and we're going to see if we can get 16 gigs of RAM to work in it. I'll put them back in here, but I can run the mismatch memory in here. It doesn't really matter. Oh, stealing RAM. Nope, we already own it, so we're not stealing it. We're borrowing it. We're relocating the RAM. Nope, we're stealing it from ourselves. All right. So we got 2 8-gig modules, green modules in there right now. Let's give it heck. Nope, give it hell. Second and 3rd gen Intel, $20 with NVMe support. That's a good buy. It's still running and we posted. So I guess we can post about any memory in those 2 slots back there, but we're not posting anything in the first 2. We'll make sure that they both show up right here in the BIOS real quick. Yeah, our hard drive showing up. How we change this from, let's hold on none of, well, it don't have any errors anyway. At least our clock is keeping like it should. I'm going to go in and make a change here. I guess it would be under the boot, right? If I want to, well, no, right here. It says IDE. We're going to change that to AHCI. Okay, we're good there. I don't think this one, I think I've tried an NVMe on it when I got it working before and it wouldn't work. Look up board vendor lists for the RAM. Some boards are picky with RAM. You're exactly right. I've been through that a lot on these older generations. But this one's not being very picky right now, not in the 3rd and 4th slot. And if it'll boot in the 3rd and 4th slot, then it should work in the 1st and 2nd one. All right, this time it's booting into Solus quickly. It's not having any problem getting in there. So I'm going to say that this one works, but we are down 2 memory slots. And I've seen memory slots die on boards before, and I'm sure you've had them that the memory slots die on too, and I think, sadly, that's what's wrong with this board. I think we got 2 memory slots dead on it. So should we call it on this one? Or should we attempt to figure out why those slots are dead? I mean, we can pull the CPU out of this thing. I can get the camera a little bit closer. We can take a look at the CPU. I have looked at the pins in it before and I didn't see any bent ones, but it doesn't mean that a cap around this processor isn't necessarily on par with what it should be. I'm just taking a look down there. It's running in Linux. Ooh, about snapped my neck moving back that fast. Getting too old for them kind of movements. Shot memory controller on a motherboard, probably. Will it run Crisis? It's in a crisis, John. It don't need to run crisis if it's in a crisis, right? Will it run Crisis? Will it run Cyberpunk? Maybe we should try that. We'll just use these old boards for testing games on to see what they can do. We did get the 16 gigs of RAM to work in those back 2 channels. This was actually a pretty fun one. This board was fun. I couldn't get it consistently to work before, but I did have memory working in that 2nd channel. I don't know why it's not working there now. That's probably why the CPUs got swapped around originally, because I was aggravated and throwing everything that I could at it. But I'm pretty sure because they work back in that 3rd and 4th that it's definitely a memory controller issue on those first 2 slots there. The first two slots on that are labeled 2 and 4, just so you know. So these first two are 2 and 4, which makes the back two 1 and 3. So it works on 1 and 3. It don't work on 2 and 4. All right. Will it run desktop? Not if it's Windows. No, it's running. It'll run Windows, I'm sure, but it's got Linux on this hard drive, so that's what we're booting it on. Do we want to try another motherboard? You guys in for that? We can try one more. I don't know if I can spend as much time on it because it's getting close to dinner time. And Fat Boy don't miss many of them. So I'll miss one, though, here and there, but I'm not going to tonight. So let's pull this stuff off of it. We're going to admit partial defeat on this one, not full defeat, because we did get it to post. And we know that it'll work on the back two memory channels. So there is that. Let me get the power supply undone. I don't know why I start just grabbing stuff off these boards without pulling the cord on that power supply. And this is the hardest one to take out of these. So we're not going to put this board in the junk because it is usable with those two slots. You can put, I'm sure it'll fit 16 gig modules back there. I could be wrong, though, on the 3rd gen Intel. I'm going to set this over here where I shouldn't. And we're going to find another board here. I'm going to go ahead and show you. Oh. Let's do something old. Find another DDR3 board back here. This one, oh, nah, we can't do this one because I don't have a cooler for it. Dang it. Hold on. We can do this one. i3 630. It's got memory in it. Let's see what we got. And let's see if it'll fire up. Sorry about that. I had to walk away and find our next one. We're going to test another one. We had to get it out. So what do we have here? We have an Intel desktop board. Okay, so we know it's an Intel board. What model board is it? Well, I don't know. Where does it say it at? Huh. The board says Canada on it, so maybe it was made in Canada. You guys remember when Intel built boards? Intel used to build a really good board. So did EVGA. All right. So we got a CPU cooler on it. There is memory sitting in it. I guess my stream's still going. Oh, yeah. You see me back on there now. Took the entire connector out. Yeah. Stick with Linux. You got that? You better believe I will. Yep, the board is from up north. This one is. So it's made in Canada. It's made in America. It's likely going to work. I'm just saying. And it's an old Intel board. I used to use these. I don't know if any of you know what a Hackintosh is. No, it's an Intel board. I don't know if Foxconn made them for Intel or not. I thought Intel made their own board, but maybe they did use Foxconn. So it could be a Foxconn board. It's blue like a Foxconn. You might be able to tell me more about that than I know. But I love the old Intel boards like this one. I love the EVGA boards. I know that, I don't know if he's still in here, but EQ has some really nice EVGA X58 boards. And you guys know how I like the X58 and the 1366 Xeons. Will be my favorite, and I'll go to the grave with them. All right, here we go. We got graphics card plugged in. We should have everything to power it. So will it work? Put it right there. We'll hook our hard drive up too. Will it work? Yes or no? Will the Intel board with the mystery i-series CPU first generation, will it post? Will it boot? We are plugged in, hooked up, and we are about ready to find out right now. Power that on, get our screwdriver, and figure out where our front panel's at. Oh, we're spinning fans. We heard a beep. Ooh, we're really spinning the fan now. She posted. The following are warnings that were detected during the boot. Memory size has decreased, it says. Press any key to continue. Oh, I think my wife secretly... Whoa, what's all that beeping? We got it. We posted. We're loading into Linux now. So this was too easy. But what do we got? How much memory do we got here? I'll have to look and see. It's probably 8 gigs if I had to guess. Oh, yeah, I believe that's 8 gigs. We could try fooling around with the memory in it. No, let's not do that based off what we ran into the last time. I would just say we leave that alone. Oh, I don't remember. I put it in 53 times in the last 2 days, and I can't remember it. So this one was no fun. We posted. I think that's gonna do it. This one didn't give us a challenge. We posted. We loaded into Linux, so there was no challenge on this one. I'm not going to do the Thursday night uploads anymore. They are going to be the live streams right here. So if you guys have any questions or anything, you can post it in there, or we can just chat for a few minutes here before I shut the stream down tonight and go find some dinner. But the Intel board was it was uneventful. That's all I'm going to say. I literally hooked it up, turned it on, and it posted immediately, loaded right into our window. So luckily, I got a 4th gen Intel board. Has a restart problem every time I shut it down. It powers back on. Lane 2 Gaming, I did that yesterday on the live stream. I have one doing the same thing. Is it an Asus Republica Gamers board by chance? Like a Maximus Hero 7? Because that's the same board I have doing it. John, thank you, buddy. It definitely is a fun one for me. 3rd gen Gigabyte board, I'm going to say success. And I'm going to say success because we got it to post and work. It does have a couple bad memory channels on it, memory controllers. So we're okay with that. We know that the board works and that it can be used with different memory. This board, no challenge whatsoever. So you got a 2-for-1 today. The Intel board sat down here and posted and works. I would like to be able to tell you what it is, but sadly, on this version of Linux, I don't know how to get to the hardware side of it. I wish I did. Oof, there's something, but I can't. That's not speaking my language. So I just wish I knew where I could find the information at on this one. If I go to settings, appearance, I don't see anything in here that says about for the desktop. Hardware drivers. Just says NVIDIA graphics. We know that it's a 1050 in it. But I guess we can go into the BIOS. That'll tell me everything. So I'm going to do a restart on that. Maybe F2 on this one to get into the BIOS. I can't remember on the 1st gens. Could be F2. We'll try it. Oh, I was right. You are looking at an i3 530 CPU right here. And we have 2 gig, 2 gig, 2 gig, and 2 gig, 8 gigs of DDR3. And that date and time is correct, actually. So that's weird. So we got an i5, no, an i3 630. We'll have to see if we got a bigger CPU for this. All right, Lame 2 Gaming. Oh, Intel branded board. I have an Asus board, Lame 2 Gaming, doing the same exact thing. I really do. Got distracted. Yeah, yesterday I did the live stream off my laptop, and it doesn't have as much power as the desktop does, so this one's probably a little bit better quality stream. The voice or the audio wasn't great because it was from my laptop, and we're on a microphone today. So hopefully the microphone worked a lot better, and hopefully it sounds okay, and the audio's coming through clear on this one. I don't know because I can't hear it. I can see myself back there on those screens over there, and definitely on my phone where I'm looking at your chat. It could be sudo command in the terminal. I don't know. I have never messed with the XFCE desktop on Solus Linux. This is the first time I mess with it. Typically, I'll mess when I do Solus. I'll use Budgie. I just wanted to see what something different would look like on it, and I'm not a real big fan of this one, so I kind of left it on that drive. But I'm not a big fan of it. So you're probably right. It probably is a sudo command. That's going to do it, though, for the stream. I had fun with it tonight. Next Thursday, I won't be doing a stream because I'll be out of town. But the Thursday after that, I'll be back with another live stream for about an hour or so. And we'll pull another board out of the scrap. We'll get a CPU and a cooler ready for it. And we will try it again. And this might be the face of Thursday nights for a while. It's kind of fun. I've got a whole bunch of this stuff that we can test and try to get to work, and just try different things to do it. So if you want to hang out on Thursday evenings, this is where to do that. And we'll go through this stuff and try to get it to work. Maybe we'll even see what I'm going to do with it. Whether it goes into an HTPC case, because I'm going to start going through this stuff. So some of the stuff is going to get thrown out. Some of it's going to get purposely built for different things. And we might build a HTPC or two. Who knows? Maybe a couple more Linux boxes. I don't know. Somebody could use something to play around with. I still have another one that I need to get back to and finish is the 440, the HP Z440. So I need to get back to that one, and we'll do that on a live stream on a Thursday night. I won't save that one for another Tuesday upload video. LSCPU. We can try that. I have to shut it down to boot to it. Yeah, that'll list the CPU, but we don't have to try it now because we already know it from the BIOS. So we're good with it. Oh, what else we got here? Hopefully it was better, though. Did the audio sound better? Does the mic sound okay? It's a big question. Yeah, I knew it was around the 4th gen Intels that when Intel stopped making the boards. I don't think EVGA was long after that, honestly. So I remember when they stopped. It was a fun stream. That first motherboard, that was golden. I have never fought one like that to get it to post, but we did get that thing post, and I think I'm pretty convinced that those memory controllers are bad on that one, on those first 2 slots on 2 and 4. So that's likely what the issue was there. So it was good to find that. I appreciate each and every one of you that come into the stream here tonight. It just a ton of fun to go through and test this old stuff and then try to give it a purpose. Let's see what we can do with it. Oh, I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. They are new mics. I did order them from Amazon when I went back and watched some of the live stream just to see how things went. because for me, I want to be able to improve it. Obviously, for the viewers that come in. And one of the ways to improve it is I got the USB cable ran over to a more capable computer now on the desktop. And I have everything loaded up right there on the desktop. So we're running the camera over to that. And then the microphone is plugged into the USB-C over there. So I tested it just on a quick recording and it sounded okay, but I want to make sure it was working okay for this. And it was a fun one. I want to thank you guys for tuning in, all the comments. You helped me get the first board going. That's what it's all about. That's actually a good idea, John. I think we could make a video out of that. We'll make it where the power button from the microwave fires up the computer. And then if we can get the turntable and the light to work inside and just spin everything around, that'd be awesome too. My wife's tried to give that poor microwave away 1,000,000 times. I'm not kidding you. I guess we're just gonna have to get rid of it. I think gosh, man, I can't even tell you how many years old that thing is, that microwave. We've probably owned that thing since the 90s. It's probably the original microwave we bought when we got married. And I've been married for 28 years, I believe. I can't say that too loud because if I don't have it right and she hears me, it's going to be war at the SimStation studio. It'll be war at the SimStation studio, so we can't do that. Thanks for tuning in, though. I got to get off here. We got to go find some dinner. Probably got to go grocery shopping and stuff like that. I want to wish all of you a happy and safe 4th of July. Have fun, though, but be safe with the fireworks. Put on a show for the kids if you're doing that. But just be safe, and I'll see you not live next Thursday, but the Thursday after that, I'll be back to live. Tuesday night videos will stay the same. They'll upload at 6 p.m. Eastern time, so make sure you tune into them. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. It's free to do. It's fun, and I will catch you on the next stream. You guys have a great night and a safe 4th. Big enough. It'll fit an ATX, John. I think we can fit. Yeah, we'll fit a full size ATX in that bad boy. We can do that. I wish my phone would quit going off. Micro ATX. This board is a micro, I believe. She's a tiny one, but we have an I/O shield because if you watch my other videos, that's a pet peeve of mine. A guy does not do a computer without an I/O shield. I don't like it. It bothers me. I can't, even the Alienware Aurora R7, go back and watch a video. I waited to do a build on that until the I/O shield come in from China. I literally did. I held off on it and I waited because those are a pet peeve of mine. I can't do it. It's like OCD thing kicks in my brain and I just can't have no part of it. I will not do one. It's kind of like a car missing a hubcap. I can't stand that either. So that's how it is. But I'll catch you guys on the next live stream. It'll be 2 weeks from now. Thanks for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you later.